Okay, so good morning all of you. So our today's topic is about sets and disjoint sets. So what we have studied mathematically maybe earlier or in your inter or degree or in your school age might be, say suppose n is equal to 10 means so number of elements. Okay, so here I am taking 4, 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 3, 10. So n 10 elements I am taking. And these 10 elements, that is from 1 to 10, are distributed into different sets. So set, I represent S1 as one set, having the numbers as 1, 7, 8, 9, and S2 as a set having the elements or the set contains 2, 5 and 10, and set S3 I can say 3, 4, 6. So these are the different elements in different sets, and altogether 10 are there. Okay, so how we represent the representation of sets? Okay, so here usually we write the usual form we write from parent to child. So that is, say suppose 1 is parent and 2 is child, so this is how we write. Okay, but this usual representation we are not going to take for sets. So please remember, it's the other way around. So in sets, always from the child to the parent, the arrow is pointing. Okay, please remember this point, all of you. So it's not the usual representation as a parent pointing towards its children. Instead, child will be linked to the parent. So here, and you may have some doubts saying that if set S1 we have 1, 7, 8, 9 elements, so 4 elements are there. So which one will become the root? So in general when we are writing, okay, so anyone can be made as the root and all other elements can be made as the children of it. So here I made 1 as the root and 7 I made it as a child of the parent 1. So that's why I am keeping the arrow from 7 to 1 and 8 also child of 1. So from 8 to 1 and then 9 to 1. So 9 to 1. So that is the arrow, it should point towards its parent. Okay, the other way also I can take 7 as the parent, I can make 1, I can make 8 and 9. Okay, any other possibility, making any one of them as a parent and the remaining you can make them as a child. Okay, so there is no issue. This is a general representations. As we go in detail, I'll tell you the concepts. Okay, so where and how to take. So seeing on to the set 2. Okay, when you take set 2, so here 2, 5 and 10. So instead of taking the first one as a parent, I took the second one 5 as the parent and 2 I made as a child to 5 and 10 I made as a child to 5. Okay, so in third one, so again I took as 1, or else you take the last element, maybe because of your satisfaction or something. So any node can be, any element in the set can be the parent, but you please remember this arrow pointing only. Okay, so these are the representations how we give for the sets. Okay, so this is about sets what I want to talk. So let me know what is about disjoint set. Anyone? What is disjoint set? Yes, ma'am. Hello? Disjoint set. Yes, no idea about this? Yes, please answer. No idea? You have idea about this or not?
No common elements.
No common elements. Yes, good. So here the disjoint set means, say suppose if I take S1 intersection S2. Intersection means it's the common elements. Common elements. Are there any common elements between S1 and S2? Here I have 1, 7, 8, 9. Here I have 2, 5 and 10. Are there any common elements in these two? So then we say it as 5. There is no common elements. or when I say S1 intersection S3, so 5, or S2 intersection S3, so it will be 5. Okay, so that means there is no common elements. Every set is unique. Okay, so that is what about disjoint sets. When there is no common element, then we call them as disjoint sets. Okay, so with this introduction of sets and disjoint sets and their representation, so let's continue with today's class. So next thing we will be learning about operations on sets. Okay, so operations here means, so what are the different kinds of operations we can perform? We may perform union, intersection, or maybe finding. So some of the things are given here. So let's see each one. So the first one is about disjoint set union. Disjoint set union. So when I say S1 union S2, so just now I have given the elements. So what are the elements in S1 and S2? So S1 we have 1, 7, 8 and 9, and in S2 what we have 2, 5 and 10. So total elements, all the elements in set 1 and set 2, if you write, then we call it as union. Okay, so and then moving on to the next operation, that is find. Find operation. Okay, so here if the element I, find the set containing I. So say suppose element I, find the set containing I. Okay, so to which set that element belongs to. Say suppose example I am saying as 4. To which set the element 4 belongs to? 4 is in set. Yes, tell me, in which set is it? It is S3. Say suppose where is 9? 9 belongs to which set?
Set 1.
Set 1. So that is what we are going to talk about find. Is that clear? So for element I, find the set containing I. Which set is having that element? So that is what the find operation. I hope these operations are clear on sets, each one. Okay. Disjoint set union. Union means it's the combination of the elements in both. Okay. So if there is same common element in one, only once we write. And here find. So particular element belongs to which set, we are going to just find. And these are the operations, and under operations we can talk about intersection also. Intersection means it's nothing but disjoint sets. Okay, but the textbook listed operations under operations on sets are the ones given here. Okay. So these are the operations. One is union and one is find. So union and find operations. Union and find operation and their representations, how exactly we do. So when I say S1 is equal to 1, 7, 8, 9 and S2 is equal to 2, 5 and 10, and 1 I represented like this, if you remember. And this one we represented like 5 and 2 is the parent and 10 is the 1. So these are where the graphical representations of sets I told. But we are talking about union and find operations with respect to their representations. Okay, say suppose if at all I want to perform S1 union S2. S1 union S2 in general, how we wrote whatever the elements were there in the set, both the sets, we wrote them as a union. But how we represent graphically? So graphically how we can say is, so one of them, so say the first set itself, and making whatever is the second set, just by from the root of one second set linking that to the next one. So this is what we call it as union. Okay, so independently we are writing S1 like this by making any one of the element, and in S2 by making any one of the element as parent, the remaining will be the children of that node. But whereas union means the combination of both the sets elements we are writing as a set, but their representations we can give like this. And here also you may get doubt, why only 5 have to be linked to 1? Okay, or why not the other way? So it can be this way also. It can be this way also. So anything is correct. Okay, so these are the general representations of union and find operations. So here, but when this is the union, so in the union set, if at all I want to find out some element, two element. So say suppose this is set 4S, say. Okay, so I want to find 2. Okay, set 2, element 2 belongs to set 4. But who is the parent of 2 means? 2's parent is 5, and again 5 parent is 1. Okay, so that's how we are going to find. And not only union can be represented this way, but also each root has a pointer to the set name. Okay, so I'll show you that representation also. Data representation for S1 and S2 and S3. These are the general representations. And the next one we have data representations for S1, S2 and S3. Okay, so here we are going to maintain the 3 sets S1, S2 and S3. So for each set we are going to maintain the pointer. So let's see the first set. So first set how we wrote 1, 7, 8 and 9 if you remember. And then what we had 5, 2 and 10. And then third one 3, 4, 6. 4 and 6. So how data representations for the sets can be given? So here we are going to maintain the set names, and also the second column will be for the pointers. So a pointer of set 1 to the first set, and then a pointer to the second set, and then a pointer to the third set. So this is how the data representations for different sets can be stored. Okay, so here again I'll tell you this concept. Not only just the tree structure representation, in addition each root has a pointer to the set name, then to determine which set element is currently in, and we follow the parent links to the root of the tree and use the pointer as the set name. Okay, so this is the representation, data representation. Hope this is clear. So the next one we'll move on to array representation. Array representation for sets. So array representations for sets. So here already we know the sets here, and I told you in our example we took n as 10 elements. So in order to do that, so we are going to maintain parent and the corresponding tree nodes. So for that we are going to maintain an array. Parent and the corresponding tree nodes. Okay, so these are the parent and the nodes, pointers, parent pointer. Okay, so these are the nodes. This is the pointer. Okay, so please remember that. So what is set 1? We had 1, 7, 8 and 9. So if you remember this, so how we can represent in the array representation?
Your voice is breaking, ma'am.
So for easy understanding, so any parent will be given with negative value. Now, is it okay now?
No, ma'am. No, still it's breaking,
It's
ma'am.
okay. Yeah, it's Wi-Fi connector. I'll off it on. How is it now? Shall we continue?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay. So in this, if you take, so shall I tell from the beginning here? So array representation of sets. We have just seen data representation. In data representation, what we did, set name. So that is a pointer to the root of the set. Okay. So whereas here in array representation, so our representation of one set is like this. So in array representation, what we are going to do, we are going to maintain an array with, okay, how many we have from 1 to 10. So that is 1 to 10. And whereas pointer to that node, so that pointer will have some value. If a pointer is some negative value, so that means it is root. So for any root, we are going to give it as -1. I'll tell you this representation is useful for further writing the algorithms which I in turn use in programming. So for here, you just understand. Initially, what we take is, each node as the parent itself. When I say node is for parent itself, I am considering each element individually. Okay. So then at that time we write it as -1. -1 represents its root. Okay. So now we are going to change that. So here 1 is the root. Okay, that is true. And for 7, who is the parent? Is 7 the root? Is 7 the root? No. So it belongs to parent 1. So 7 parent is 1 and 8 parent is 1 and 9 parent is 1. See, by default we keep all negatives and then we keep changing. Okay, or you can understand like this. By default we keep all the elements as they are, considering each and every element as separate ones. Okay. After that, what we are doing, we are making root 1, set 1. So, and whatever the elements we have, so those things we are considering. Okay. So, when we are taking all the individual ones, we took their pointer as -1, saying that each one is a parent. Okay. So, now after doing some, yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, board is not clear, ma'am. It's like it's blurred, ma'am. It's coming blurred. Yeah, ma'am. We are not able to see properly. Yeah, now sometime it's coming clear, ma'am. Sometime it's getting blurred.
I don't know my exactly daily. However, I teach the same place and the same way I am going further. Okay. So here, if you have any doubts, you can just ask. Okay. So here, initially, each element we consider them as the root node. So that means individually we take them. But when we are keeping them in as a set 1, set S1. Okay. So 1 is a parent. Okay. 1 you keep it as a parent. But 7 parent is 1. So I am directly writing that root node. And 8, it is the 1 parent, and 9, it is 1 parent. Okay. So similarly, the same thing I have represented here. Okay. So moving on to the set 2. So what is set 2? We have 5 and then 2 and 10. Okay. So 5 is parent itself. So I keep 5 as -1 only. So 5 as -1. Okay, that's okay. And 2's parent is whom? 5. So 2's parent is 5. So 2's parent we make it as 5. And 10's parent is who? 5. 10 parent is 5. And here also we make 10 parent as 5. Okay. So that is set 2. And moving on to set 3. 3, 4 and 6. So 3 is the root only. So that's why it will be -1. 4 parent is 3. And 6 parent is 3. Okay. So after these representations, from this graphical representation, what you can make out? What we can make out? We can say that node 1 is parent. And what is other one? 3 also is parent and 5 also is parent. Is it not so? So in set 1, 5 is parent, and in set 2, 3 is parent, and in set 3, 5 is parent. So by seeing the pointer values in the array, we can make out who is the parent. Is that clear? Okay. So this is about the array representation. Okay. So, and after these array representations, we have algorithm for union. algorithm for union. So before going into the details of this, say suppose when we have node 1 and node 2, two elements we have. Either you can make node 1 as the parent and 2 as the child, as 2 as the parent or 1 as the child. So that means what? We are giving the link here. Okay. So this link, how we are able to give? Say suppose this is the first one is I and the second one is J. First one is I and second one is J. So if at all you want to make I as a child of J, okay. So this one we can give P of I is equal to J. So this means the same. I is becoming the child of jth parent. So this is what? So when we are writing the algorithms, union means this is how we have written P of I is equal to J. So that means the pointer of P of I element is linked to J. Okay. So with this knowledge, so let's see the algorithm. Hardly it's 2-3 lines. So how do we write the algorithm? So first we'll be writing the algorithm keyword, and since we are writing simple union, so I'm just writing simple union. And union of how many you want to do? So two nodes. So one node representing with I and one node representing with J. So how can I make the union operation between these two? So I can make I as a child for J. Okay. So that is what union. This is what union. So this is the union algorithm. Okay. So just linking one node to the another one. But always remember, child will be pointing towards parent. It's not the usual representation. Usually it will be from parent to child. But here in sets and unions, disjoint sets, you please remember it is from child to parent. So that is what we have to remember. So this is about the union algorithm. So let's see the next one. Algorithm for find. So I told you the terminology of union and find. So now I'm just telling you about the algorithms for this. So for any algorithm, we are going to write the algorithm keyword. And what exactly we are doing? We are going to just find the simple find. And what you are doing? You are going to find some element I. And that element will be where it belongs to some set. Okay. So in order to write that, so first what we have to check, while P of I greater than or equal to 0. So its value should be positive. Okay. So in the array representation, whatever we are taking, so if it is negative means, it's the root node. So we are just going to tell to which set, to which parent it is going to belong. Okay. So to which parent it belongs means, if it is root node, we'll have some negative value. But if it is not root node means, its parent value it is going to get. So that's why we are going to write P of I greater than 0 and I is equal to P of I. And we are going to return I. And we are going to return I. So for this, if you want me to tell some example here, say suppose 1, 2 and 3. So since this is the parent, so how this can be represented? So these are the nodes, say. So nodes means I and P is the pointer. So node means 1, 2 and 3 node. Since 1 is the parent, so this is -1. And who is the parent of 2? 1. Who is the parent of 3? 1. So we are concentrating on this. P of I means the value what is there here. Okay. So when you are finding out any element's parent, so that should be greater than or equal to 0. If it is negative, if this condition is not satisfying, that means it's a root only. But I don't want root. I want to find out any one of the children belongs to which parent. Okay. Say suppose here P of j I greater than 0. Say suppose this is P of I greater than 0. So it is 1. Okay. And to which parent it is belonging to? So what is the I position of P of 1? P of 1 is equal to, what is its I? It is 2. Whose parent it is? Okay. So one parent is, okay, 2 parent is 1. So 1 will be written here and it is going to return 1. So in this case, what exactly we are going to find? So we are going to find the parent of a particular element. So that's how we are going to see in this, we have learned in this algorithm. Okay. So this is about the find algorithm. Okay. So here, though these two algorithms, so when I say two algorithms means about union and find. So though these two algorithms are simple, but their performance characteristic is not so good. Is not so good. Why? Because so if we have n number of elements, okay, so the time taken for n minus 1 elements is O of n. So n means it's taking more time. N means it is taking more time. Why it is for n minus 1, why it is n only? Say suppose, example I'll tell you. If you have one element and two element, how many unions you need? Only one. For two elements it is 1. Okay. So if it is for 3 elements, it is 2 unions we need. Okay. If it is 3 elements, so likewise, so if you take one element connecting to 2 elements, 3 elements, and so on till n elements. Okay. So for 2 it is 1. For 3 it is 2. So for n it is n minus 1. Okay. So when n minus 1 elements are there, so like this till n elements. So in order to join 2, we need only 1. Like when we have 3, we need 2. When we have 4, we need 3. Likewise, when we have n, we need n minus 1. So that's what we are writing. Time taken for n minus 1 elements is n. Okay. So here n. So before that value they are talking about n minus n. 1, n minus 1 element. So now this will become n. Okay. So that is how the time complexity for this two algorithms of union and find, though they are simple, but performance characteristics is giving larger, that is big O of n. So the upper bound itself is n means, so in the time complexity it will be more than n only. Okay. And each find requires following sequence of the parent pointers from element to be found to the root. Say suppose in a tree, so for union only if you are going to find out as order of n, so this is what we are saying about to find. So order of I is equal to 1 to n I. In order to find ith element in n elements. So then what we can say, already this order was n, so and this becomes n square and this becomes n square. Okay, so this is for the find. So to avoid the degeneracy or for these things, so we are going to learn about something called as weighing rule for union. Weighing rule for union. Weighing rule for union means, so here whenever I am performing union operation, so the same example what we had, let's take. So for the first one, 1, 7, 8 and 9. What was the second one? 5, 2 and 10. What was the third one? 3, 4 and 6. Okay. So if this was the element, so how we write the parent? How we write the parent, saying that it is a parent? So we write it as -1. Yes or no? -1. And this also has -1 and this also has -1 in the array representation, and -1 represents as a root. But here weighing rule means, so the root not only negative, so negative represents root, but weighing represents number of children also. Say suppose 1, 2, 3 children are there. So along with -3 we are going to write. So including root also we can write. So 1, 2, 3 and including this it's 4. So that means the weighing rule, what it is saying, the number of nodes connected to that root node including itself, that value will be given. So 4 represents, that means there are 4 nodes here, and negative represents it's a root along with this 4 nodes are there. So now tell me what is the weight of this one, fifth one? 1, 2, 3. So -3 we write. Minus represents it's a parent, but this
Parent.
weight along with negative represents number of nodes. Okay, and whereas here, so it also represents the same. Okay, so these are the weights. Again I repeat, negative represents the root, but whereas the weight, what weight we are going to call here along with the negative, so that weight represents the number of children, and the root also will be included, number of children also, and with along with the root. So that is what we call it as weighing rule. Weight we are giving with respect to the root. Not only that, so the weighing rule for union. See, earlier I told you union of these operations means, so giving the link like this. So the root of one subtree, if you link to the other one, so this is what? Union. Or else we can also link one to the second one. So this is also union. But here now this weighing rule union says that whichever is having less number of children, so that is going to be the subtree under the other tree. So if you take here -4 and -3, so leaving negative, so which is maximum here? This one is maximum. So now in that case what we do? We link the second set to the first one. Why? Because it is the property of weighing rule for union. Till now we learnt in general, but here what we are doing, weighing rule for union means the set which is having more children will be the parent one. Its parent will become the parent for the next subtree. Can be linked to that. So that's what it means. Say suppose union of these two. So then since both are same, so I can do in any of the ways. Either I can link 3 here, 4 and 6. So this will be right. But the other way also it will be right. Making this 3 node as a parent and linking 5 to that also it will be true. Why? Because these weights are same. Okay. So that is the weighing rule. And for this weighing rule for union also we have algorithms. Since I don't have much time now to do the algorithms for this, so I'll try to do it tomorrow, or shall we do it now?
Tomorrow will be better, ma'am.
Okay. So algorithms again, I'll tell you with examples and the algorithms again. So one more topic is left here. So that is about not only the weighing rule, we have collapsing find. So when exactly collapsing find is used, I'll tell you with these examples only. Collapsing find. Say here, when, so let me take this example only. So union of this means, so how this tree will become now the complete one. So I can write it as 1, 7, 8, 9, and now 5 we are including here, and then this becomes 2 and this becomes 10. Okay. So here, since this was the root earlier, so this was -3 and this was -3. Since this is included here, so -4, sorry, -4. So since this is connected here, so because of this union, so what this value will change to, it will become -7. So that means this is the root node holding how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this 7 represents how many elements are holding there, and negative represents it's a parent. Okay. Here also parent, but its value is less. That means it will be some subtree. Okay. So here when we represent this, when we represent in the array representation, so when we are making link, so the root node only will keep it as negative. So here what exactly we are doing? So I'm just writing the numbers here. 1, 2, 3. How many are there? Is 3 there here? No. 1. Yeah, 1, 2 is there. 1, 2, 5 is there, and then I'm just writing the root nodes, mother. Whatever the elements are there, I am writing those elements. Okay, so how we were representing that array representation? So these are the elements and P is the pointer. So what are the elements we have here now? So I have first one. So let me write in the sequence. Then I have 2. There is no 3. There is no 4. 5 is there. And 6 is not there. 7 is there. 8 is there. 9 is there. And 10 is there. So initially what we do? We make all the parent links as 1. -1. So that means each one is a root node. So after that what we have to do? So after 1, so 1 is a root node. So let's go in the sequence. 1 is a root node, so let it be -1. 2. So who is the parent of 2? Who is the parent of 2? It is 5. Okay, so who is the parent of 5? It is 1. Who is the parent of 7? It is 1. Who is the parent of 8? It is 1. Parent of 9, 1. Parent of 10, it is 5. Okay, so here when I want to find out, so once when we build weighing rule union and when we get a tree structure like this, so in that if at all I want to find for some element whose parent is that element's parent means, so what we do, say suppose example I am telling you 10 element parent I want to find out. So here I will see, so 10 parent is 5 and in turn again 5 parent is 1. So I can say 10 parent is 1 now. Okay, so in array representation also if you see, I want to find out 10 parent. So who is 10 parent? 5. Again go to 5. 5 parent is 1 and 1 parent is minus 1 means itself. So it is 1. So that means indirectly, instead of directly saying 1, instead of saying 10 parent as 1, why I need to go 2 steps further? So which is not needed. So for that what we do is, we collapse. Collapse means we are not going to represent the intermediate parents. So collapsing rule means we are just going to eliminate from here as a leaf node for the intermediate parent and directly we connect 10 as the child for the root 1. So that is collapsing rule. And if I take 2, so 2's parent is 5. So if I take 2, 2's parent is 5 and 5 parent is 1 and again 1's parent is minus 1 means itself. So indirectly what I mean to say, so 2's parent is 1 only. Why again I have to go to the bigger path to find its parent? So in that what I'll do, I'll collapse that node and directly I connect to the root. Okay, so this is the property of collapsing find. Directly we are giving the find. Okay, so these are all the terminology about sets, disjoint sets, find, union and weighing rule and collapsing rule. Okay, so these are the topics I wanted to cover today.